So I want to take you on a journey of challenging the status quo, of delivering real innovation and ultimately transforming human flight. And this is us at Gravity Industries. This is a reel that really talks about and demonstrates what we've accomplished in the last 6.5 years. It's been a long journey, and this reel looks amazing, if I may say so myself, but that was not effortless, that was not quick, and it was not simple. We have built a successful revenue-generating business from what was just an idea and a desire to see if humans can really fly. So this is the early footage of development. The young boy there is our founder, Richard Browning, with his father building model aircraft out in the UK. And that's how it really all started. He came from a family of aviation in its blood. One of his great-grandfathers was CEO of Westland Helicopters, now Leonardo's, and his father was a true inventor. That, married with Richard growing up, pushing boundaries of human ability in things like calisthenics, that's his training partner there, running ultramarathons, and ultimately really challenging himself to then join the Royal Marines out in the UK and becoming a reservist for 6 years. Myself, having worked with him for several years before joining this business, I wondered something really different about him. You know, he's not quite your usual commodities trader out in the city. There's something different. And, you know, true to his own words, one day he showed me this bit. Here's to the countryside range that is a miniature jet engine on his arm, and in the mud bucket is jet fuel. So I saw that one morning and said, what are you doing? What is that? And Richard said, well, I'm just experimenting a little in my free time, during weekends and in evenings after work. You can see he's playing in the background. This is really the first time Richard said, okay, I think I can just start in As you can see there, he's trying to grapple with the power. And so the development process kept going. Now we've got 4 engines. And he can jump up and down, so you're getting that weightless feeling. So he kept progressing, and this is over months and months and months. Now we're trying different configurations. This is all you see about innovation. Got 2 engines on the legs, and then 1 on each arm. It's pretty difficult, but he's managing. And you see he's on the safety tether there, so that ultimately means you are actually physically safe, which is what we want. But it's pretty uncontrollable. We then kept going. More engines. So now you've got 3 on each arm. It's a bit unwieldy, it's a little much. So went back to the original plan. So it seems to work, but you're not quite flying. This isn't really good. Yeah, not very stable. But he's obviously enjoying it. So he continued. More engines, again, now 2 on each arm, and still 1 on the legs. Still not really getting that control. And you know, these tips are key to show you that iterative innovation process. It's about trying, falling over and getting up again, and keeping on going. And so I think at one point he was really wondering, is this really possible? And what I'm about to show you is still to this day my most favorite 6-second clip of our entire business. You just watch Richard's reaction to it. This is our first 6-second clip. He really knew it was possible then. And we were just scratching the surface, and we didn't really know it ourselves. I'm now standing here today telling you about our entertainment division, our professional division, and how much we've accomplished. But as you can see, that journey wasn't easy. It felt lonely at times for Richard. We didn't have a big team like we do now. But we're really proud to show off what we've achieved since. This is our headquarters and training facility out in the UK, in England, but we do have one here in the US, in California, so everybody's welcome. this is what you get to experience if you want to feel what it's really like to fly. We tether you up on a super safe system and we let you feel the power, so that's 1500 horsepower, not jet engines. You can really feel what flight is like. You're learning by those small little steps, feeling weightless on your first go. And then you pretty rapidly progress into flying. And a lot of people who come to us by the end of the first day are able to fairly safely pop a picture about us. Opening this as a division of our entertainment business really came from the idea we've got to let other people experience this amazing journey that we've been on, because it really is just pure joy. And that's how this whole business started. It didn't start with trying to solve a problem or trying to bring a new product for consumers. It started with pure joy of exploration, of exploring innovation and challenging the status quo. And now we're proud to welcome people all over the world coming to experience it with us. The next division of our entertainment business is about the really fun stuff. So this is a good friend of ours, Adam Savage, if you remember Mythbusters.
You look amazing.
He ended up being Richard's ground support on our first ever public event.
I reckon I can.
All right. TED Talk in Vancouver.
Let's get to it.
So
ladies and gentlemen,
Adam
I
had an
present
idea,
to you
so what if we got
Iron
the original
Man.
Marvel CAD files from Iron Man, we printed the suit and flew it with your jet plane? We said, sure, we love the challenge. So here it is, printed in steel. It is ridiculously heavy. Richard could barely see. The visor really doesn't allow you to see very much. And if you look at the shin shape there, it's kind of bent out. So it's natural. I think the Marvel fans didn't really think about that. I'm not sure they imagined anyone doing it in real life. But here it is. And the reason why I chose this clip is just to show you the sheer breadth of events and countries who really attend. We've had the privilege of being at over 200 events in 44 countries, which we have absolutely loved. We have flown to places around the world. Flying over the one this week. And that is actually in the area that was a big TV production, and that's how we started building the business. Because we didn't want to go from race to race to race. We wanted to really prove that what we're doing is delivering revenue and we can really stand on its own 2 feet. Adam's very happy there.
Richard!
So now I will take you to what is about to come next year. And this is just a glimpse into what we're about to launch, which is the race series. So imagine Red Bull Air races, over Highland Horse, over water, in most iconic places around the world, Dubai, Bermuda, somewhere in the US. Multiple pilots, anywhere from 8 to 20, racing each other just like that, bringing sport out to the world. And this for us is the ultimate pinnacle of innovation and what's going to push us even further. Because, how did Allure Innovation come about? How did NASCAR become what it is today? It's a bunch of guys racing each other and see what happens. So that's pretty much what we want to do, along with delivering a load of fun to the people who want to watch it. This was filmed quite some time ago as a short promo. So towards the end of February, we're going to be flying our first showcase race. So stay tuned for that on our social media. Now, on to something a little more serious. We also do work with militaries across the world and in the search and rescue and first response space. So this here sitting in an SUV with 2 jet suits, and that is going to be happening this summer. So just a little now about what are we actually doing, how are we doing this? Most parts of the jet suit are 3D printed in polypropylene. We're working with some of the best 3D printing companies out there in the world in what's really advanced polypropylene printing in really large parts. So it's truly innovative and it's truly exciting for not just us as a new industry of human flight, but also for more established industries like additive printing. Not just that, the engines that we used to purchase them off the shelf from our engine manufacturer, but now they're completely custom to what we do. So no longer used in model aircraft, but really specifically for our jet suits. So we have really touched quite a few industries on this journey. So I added a couple of fun clips of things we've experimented with over the years. Do not try this at home. This is one of my colleagues in the back of our Ford F-150, where we thought, okay, we want to try and see if we can transition from vertical to horizontal flight. So lots of experimentation later, we ended up setting a second Guinness World Record. You'll see there, hopefully in a moment. I am stuck here. Let's try that again. There we go. So this is Richard, our founder, right in the middle. He's got a wing in between his legs, and the other 2 guys are flying just our standard jet suits without the wing. You're about to see him fly at 86 miles an hour and semi-transitioning to horizontal flight. That was really fun. We're not doing much of that these days, but we just wanted to prove that we're only scratching the surface of what we can accomplish with this equipment. Just watch that spin under. It's just really the early days of what this technology can be. It may be in some ways like cars used to be, noisy, loud, not particularly efficient 100 years ago, and look what they can do today. So we really hope to get to the same place later. A little about what we do in the STEM space. Most places that we go, we try and speak in a local school or a local college. I, in my previous career in commodities trading, spent a lot of time talking to kids of all ages. And we do it not just because we think it's important and most responsible companies should do that, but mostly because kids ask the most insightful questions, and seeing that fire in their eyes is just brilliant. Every single person in our team loves it, and it's our favorite part of our job, truthfully. So I just wanted to bring a small piece of that here today. Last but not least, I want to show you something we don't really share publicly, but this is proof to why innovation is not easy. This is very early days, all sorts of engine failures, pilot errors, and you're going to start to see a common theme. This is why we don't fly, or definitely didn't fly, too high in the beginning, because you want to be able to get up after you fly. That was a fairly awkward engine failure. I was there. This was at a 300,000 person air show. So this is another pilot that's going to go there for a swim. Yeah. The beauty about that is our jet suit is completely buoyant, so you're going to see it float. That was in the Maldives. That was This was us practicing for the race series. He made a real error there. He's going right in. That's it. Again, a race series practice. We didn't quite make that turn into that arch. Yeah, there you go. Yet another event. And we want to show people this because, you know, technology does have issues sometimes, and, you know, this is the path to innovation, this is taking risk, and this is how we got here today. I will stop here. I'll open this to Q&A, and in about 5-10 minutes we can then head out and see this in real life. So any questions, please? Yes? So the question was, does the water ruin the jet suit? So yes, first of all, with the engines, the temperature inside the engine chamber is about 600 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty hot. So when you're going into cold water, those engines do freeze up, so we have to refurbish them. But beyond that, everything else is insulated. So actually, once you've swapped out the engines, you're good to go again. And you're floating whilst you're enjoying your swim. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely. So the question was about the fuel. So how much fuel does the jet suit take and how long does it last? So we have several different models of jet suits, anywhere from 10 liters to 40 liters. It burns 4 liters a minute. So in our smallest, it's about 2 minutes, going up all the way to 4.5. But with our latest suit that's coming out next quarter, you'll be able to fly for up to 8 minutes at speeds of around 50 miles an hour. Absolutely. So the suit weighs around 60 pounds. So it's not super light, but the idea is that you're not walking around with it for too long, and it is feeling completely weightless when you are flying.
So my question is, your safety. You were showing us where it just failed. I was wondering if you had like safety suits, you know, like the bubble where it just like magically just encapsulate somebody, like with the rover or that kind of stuff that NASA's using?
That's a great question, thank you. So when we do have accidents over ground, not over water, our pilots wear some protective clothing. We don't use the bubble purely because there is a fair amount of heat around the suit, so that could create its own issue in its own right. But they wear reinforced footwear, they wear adhesive protected and fire retardant suits as well. But our most adventurous, most exciting flights do take place over water, which is you just getting wet and floating face up while someone comes to fish you out.
Maria, this is amazing. I love it. Excited to see them fly and would love to race one day. Question for you is, just one blank. Yeah, what's your fastest growing division, your segments?
Thank you. That's a great question. So in the beginning, it was certainly entertainment, and that's what kept us going. The military development really took a long time, but now military has overtaken just by pure sheer volume. I do think that with the race series next year, I think the two divisions will hopefully be on par, and we're really excited about that. And we are also excited by making the point of running both divisions in parallel. We do want to be a dual-use technology, and we don't want to hide this away from everybody and to work, you know, in stealth mode and only with militaries and for people not to be able to see or experience this.
Just wondering how high you can go. I don't know if I missed that.
Sure. So you could go up to 3,000–4,000 feet if you wanted. That has the technical capability to do that. We tend to fly somewhere in the 15 to 30 foot region. First of all, for safety, of course, if it's a military application and the mission necessitates, of course, you know, you can fly higher. But beyond, you know, a couple thousand feet, you're going to start to starve those engines of oxygen. The air gets really dense up there. So they do have some limitation. And of course, the FAA would have some questions, I think.
So I have a quick question. Which stop in the race series is going to be in Bentonville? Is it the first? Is it the last? Is it somewhere in the middle?
We would absolutely love it to be here and to race. So I will take that as an invitation.
So all of you movers and shakers who can make that happen in the room, if you'd like to see more of them here, which I would love next year as they continue to grow and do even more innovative things, please know that we're going to try to bring them back. And if possible, I'd love to get the tether set up so that maybe some of you would want to potentially test out a jetpack as well. No promises yet, but we've grown to love them in even the 2 days that we've had to spend with them, and so we'll love to see more of it. If you would like to talk more with Maria and with Paul, make sure you check out their booth and the exhibit hall, and let's give her an incredible round of applause this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.